So good afternoon, we're back again, and it's only a week until the Premier League starts. I can't wait until Arsenal get back in action. Even though they drive me absolutely insane every single week when we were watching them, it's going to actually be really nice to get some Premier League football back because the Bundesliga ain't been great. La Liga is starting again tomorrow, so make sure you download HOTMIC. I'll be on that. You get real stadium noise, and you can sync up the game to my stream, so we're banging time as well, which is kind of cool. And then next week, me and Chig will be doing a watch-along for the Man City game. So make sure you come and join in for that. I get my partner in streams back, my partner in watch-alongs back, and that's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I can't wait, if I'm being honest. And it's going to be really good. And it's something that's been a long time coming. It's been 3 months of no football, which has been pretty crazy, really, isn't it? 3 months of not a single football match on. Then obviously the Bundesliga come back and we're all excited. And then we realised really quickly that that league really ain't that great. And anyone from 10 down should probably be in a different division because they're absolutely pony. But do stick a like on the video. Do subscribe if you're new. And I will be going on to career mode in about an hour from now. And we won the Champions League with Newcastle. First attempt. See, I can win in Europe as a manager. We just signed Mbappe on a free, Neymar on a free. We got a decent team. And yeah, come check that out. The gaming channel link's in the description as well. But let's start off talking about Santi Cazorla. Now, Santi Cazorla has come out with a little hint and basically dropped a hint that he might end up being a coach at Arsenal. He has said this, and I quote, he said this in Cadena Ser, which is a Spanish media outlet. I've already made my decision, but right now is not the time to say anything. That was when he was asked about his future. I have an idea of what I want, but in due course, I will reveal what I've decided. Now it's not time because we're focused on competing. There is somebody at my front door as well. 1 second. There's someone at the door. Typical, isn't it? I sit here and go do my stream and then there's somebody knocking at the door. The season is being postponed. It's helped me think. I've listened to my body, but now I don't want to preempt you or speculate you too much. When asked whether he could extend his playing career, he said, I don't know, I have an idea, but when the time comes, I will communicate and give the explanations. Now we have to be focused. I want to remain linked to football. I could be a coach, but I see myself as more of a sporting director role. So listen, Santi Cazorla is hinting towards becoming either a sporting director or a coach type of role, something involved in the hierarchy of a football club. I'd love to see Santi back at Arsenal. Proper midfielder, proper talented midfielder that would probably walk straight into our first team now. He's still that good, even despite all of the injuries. I think what he's done with that is he's basically covered all angles, isn't he? Well, I might still be a player. I don't mind being a coach, but I see myself as a sporting director. But I'm not going to lead you down any road. I'm going to cover all angles. And when the season ends, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, even though I've already decided. It's like, you've kind of told us a lot, but not really told us anything at the same time. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, there we go. So listen, Santi Cazorla could be coming back to the Arsenal real soon. And like I said, I'd love to see him back at Arsenal. Really, really good footballer when he was here. And we miss him, man. We miss that guy in midfield that can actually create something and can actually dribble past people, score goals. His passion for the club was ridiculous. He was always up for a fight. Remember the game against Man City? He was single-handedly taking on the whole City team. Absolutely quality player and badly missed at the club. Anyway, let's move on to the next one. Luka Jovic. He is linked with a loan move to Arsenal today. He's been linked with a move to Arsenal since he was at Frankfurt. He obviously got his big money move to Real Madrid, which hasn't worked out at all, really. 2 goals all season. And he's come out previously and said that he wants to fight for his place. He wants to stay at Madrid. He wants to continue the journey. And I've said this before. Sometimes when you get players like him that are very young, they get the glitz and the glamour in their eyes, and they think, oh, Real Madrid, oh, I can't not go to Real Madrid. And they end up taking the move a little bit too soon. and it ends up shooting him in the leg, or the foot, should I say. I can't even get my words out today. A little bit like Ousmane Dembele, another one, massive money move to Barcelona. That hasn't worked out. But Luka Jovic is said to be linked with a move to Arsenal on loan. And what does this mean, like for Aubameyang, for Lacazette? Because we're linked to a lot of strikers. We're linked to a lot of players, full stop, if I'm being honest. But the fact that we keep getting linked to strikers and the fact that Aubameyang still hasn't signed the deal, I'm putting 2 and 2 together and I'm thinking, hold up a minute. Is Aubameyang actually going to leave? I've said it for a long, long time. I do think he will go. I think that he's had an offer on the table from what we've been led to believe since December. If he hasn't signed it 6 months later, which is now obviously June, why hasn't he signed that? What is he waiting for? We've had 3 months of no football. Surely there's been time for him to sit down and sign that contract. Personally, for me, I'd take Luka Jovic. I think he's a decent player. And I've said this about other players over in Spain, Thomas Lemar being another one. A lot of people have gone, oh, Thomas Lemar's washed up. And that's the reactionary levels of football fans, that a player can go from one club to the next after being brilliant at the first club. They go to the next club, they don't do it, and all of a sudden that player's washed up. Oh, no, not really. Same with managers. Ancelotti's washed up because he didn't win anything at Napoli. And he won everything at 5, 6 other clubs across Europe before Napoli. Doesn't mean he's washed up because he's not won anything at another club. You know, and I'd take Jovic just because he's only scored 2 goals this season. Don't make him a bad player. Just means he's been crap this season. You know, if he's crap again next season and the season after, then all of a sudden you go, well, hold up a minute. There could be an issue here. And I look at what he did in Germany, in the Europa League as well. He was relentless. I think that we need that guy that's a big physical guy in the Giroud mould. I think it's kind of funny saying that because I don't want Giroud back. Don't get it twisted. But I do think the way that Arsenal play is not suited to the strikers that we've got. You know, we've got Aubameyang playing down the left wing, and then we've got a striker that's not really got any pace, that doesn't really score any goals, especially away from home. He ain't scored a goal against the current Premier League team, Lacazette, away from home since April 2018. So it's something for me that I'd look at, and I think that if we got Jovic, I think he'd do really well in the Premier League. Like I said, he's very physical. He can score headers. And I look at his time in Germany, he was scoring goals for fun. And like I said at the very start of the show, the German league is not great. Don't get it twisted. But he still got to score the goals. And he was doing that. At Real Madrid, maybe the system don't suit him. Maybe their style of play doesn't suit him because they do play quick counter-attacking football. They do dominate possession in a lot of games. And he ain't the quickest. You know, if we're going to play with just one guy up front and then our pacey striker who's playing on the left wing, then we don't need a Lacazette. We need a Jovic who can get in and around the box, get his head on crosses. Lacazette don't really do that. Lacazette likes to drop a little bit deeper. And I don't know, man. Like, listen, at the end of the day, it's only a few more weeks until Aubameyang's into the last year of his contract. He still ain't signed, so he's probably going to leave. But there we go. Anyway, StreamYard is frozen, so I can't see any comments coming up on StreamYard from Facebook or from Twitch or even from YouTube. So it did freeze, so I don't know what's happened there. So apologies if I don't read any Facebook or Twitch comments out. I can read YouTube ones off of the YouTube Studio app. So I'm going to have to just read the YouTube ones out. But do smash the likes up. Only 37 of you have done that so far. But let's read some of these. Jovic needs 2 years in a mid-table team, and then he can kick on again at Madrid. He's on a 6-year contract. Yes, he is on a 6-year contract. But that's why I take him on loan. I take him on loan with an option to buy him at the end of it. And we'll see what happens. Dr. Viraj, afternoon, mate. I hope you're good. What are your honest thoughts about Torreira? What has he lacked in general? Because I don't know. I know you don't particularly rate him. Expectations from Arteta for the rest of the season. Good questions, mate. Torreira, for me, don't know, man. Listen, he's the least of our worries, put it that way. But I would personally get rid. Yeah, I'd get rid of most of them that are here. But I do think that it may be if we put a better player than Granit Xhaka next to him, then maybe we'd see a better level of performance, because he does a lot of work that Granit Xhaka's caused. So Granit Xhaka's not tracked a runner, or Granit Xhaka's turned too slowly and let the runner go. Then Torreira has to go and bomb after him, gives away fouls and stuff like that. I like the fact he gets stuck in. I rate that. Technically, he's pretty good, but as a defensive midfielder with Granit Xhaka next to you, listen, you could put anyone there and they'd still look a liability next to Xhaka. So I don't know, man. Maybe we need to replace Xhaka. Expectations for Arteta. Well, that's a good question as well, because we've got 10 games left of this season, and 5 of them against tough teams. Not only that, we've got Aston Villa, who are struggling and fighting for their lives. So I don't know, man. I think if we can, I've said we'll probably get about 16, 17 points out of the 30 available. I'm sticking with that. Next season's where we can actually have a full season of Arteta and see how good he actually is or how good he actually isn't. So there we go. Let's read a few more of these. Ian says, if these fans... Ancelotti, mate, listen, Ancelotti gets criticised by Arsenal fans for being washed up, mate. Yeah, I don't get it. I genuinely don't. Thank you, Pirate King, for your donation. I have doubts about Upamecano. Love to hear your take. I'm also a new member. Love your content and big up. Thank you. Yes, I did notice that the other day, buddy. Thank you very much for that. And Upamecano, I've watched him about 4 times since the Bundesliga's come back, and I think he's clumsy. Yeah, the first game he looked absolutely worn out after 20 minutes and then was substituted. The second game, he was just standing, or second or third game, he literally just stood in the 6-yard box and the geezer just run off the back of him and tapped it in from 4 yards out. Very, very clumsy from what I've seen. I don't know whether that's just because they've just come back and he's still not up to full fitness. I don't know, but yeah, he's not looked fantastic, mate, if I'm being honest. JD Powell says, if you were Aubameyang, where do you go? Me personally, Barcelona. Lee, they have announced the rest of the fixtures. Yes, they have announced the fixtures, buddy. They have announced the fixtures. Rickon says, Lee, explain. You say Jovic is poor this season. Doesn't mean he's shit, but you don't give the same energy to Laka. Do you know why? Do you know why I don't give the same energy to Laka? I've just seen a post that AFTV posted about Mesut Ozil getting so many assists in so many games in 2015, and all of the comments are, until Giroud stopped scoring, until Giroud stopped scoring, until Giroud stopped scoring. He cost him the record. He cost him the record. Guess what? Giroud scored more goals that season and went 4 months without a goal than Lacazette has ever scored in a full season. So that's why. That's why. Lacazette this season's been rubbish. Last season, he was good. Yeah, the season before that, like, listen, I look at Lacazette and I just think, you don't want to be here. That's how I look at it. I don't think he wants to be here. Olivier Giroud, for me, wasn't great, but he still scored more goals in a season than Lacazette ever will at Arsenal in a season. So there we go. Jack Blackmore, when's your next bullshit Instagram post? You do realise you can unfollow me on Instagram and block me so you never see it, innit? Yeah, you do know that. Yeah, you do know that, innit? I've literally rattled everyone on Instagram with my countdown of Mesut Ozil. Unlucky, because I ain't stopping until he's gone. Right, I'm going to do 3 more, and then I'm going to get myself out of it. Thoughts on Willian on a free? As a Chelsea fan, I'd be glad to see the back of him, says Matt Phillips. I rate him. I think he's all right. I think for a couple of seasons, I think he could do all right. We could have him on the bench. He's won everything. He's experienced. He could come into the team in big games when we need to to kick on and get a goal. Every time I've seen William play in the last couple of seasons, he's impressed me. But he is the wrong side of 30 now. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Chris says Laka has a strange body language, the same as Ozil. They look like they're nonchalant. I'd say disinterested more than nonchalant, mate. Thoughts on Havertz being offered a 5-year contract at Chelsea on 8 million a year? That's Spiro. Afternoon, buddy. That's a bargain. Bargain. That is a bargain. He is class. Joan says, I reckon Lacazette suffered the Emery effect this season, having no clue what was expected him to do. Emery probably wanted him to play in centre mid. Do you know what? Emery gets a lot of hate, yeah? And like, I kind of get some of it, but at the same time, I don't. Like, Lacazette was his player of the season. Lacazette probably don't want to be here, which is why his performances have dropped. Yeah, he looks so disinterested this season. Emery's obviously had a hand in that. I don't know why Emery stopped playing with both of them, like up top, because there was games where they were both up top. I remember against Valencia. Yeah, that was ridiculous. They were just smashing Valencia to pieces. But this season, he's just looked so off the boil. It's mad. Big up DJ Crane. It's funny how it was Giroud's fault that year, yet this year you can't blame Ozil. Goalkeepers have more assists than him this year. Come on, the real ones see it, mate. The real ones also like know how to spell or the difference between your and you are. So it's no coincidence that half of these people don't know proper players or the history of the club if they don't even know basic English grammar, mate. I'm going to do a couple more. Why not? We'll do a couple more. Then I'm going to do my Premier League video. Then I'll be on FIFA career mode. We got Neymar, Mbappe, Havertz, Werner. Who else we got? Usman Dembele, Ter Stegen. We've got a sick team. We've got about 300 million quid to spend as well. We're going to go shopping. It's going to be sick. We're going to win the Super Cup again. We've got Atletico Madrid first game. I do find it funny how people keep banging on about this person's butters. You do know that's not my missus, didn't you, bruv? Unlucky. Where's your Stella? Big up VP. No, VP, I'm on the nice PG tips today, my friend. I'm on the PG tips. Rick and they ain't got a Scooby what they're talking about, mate. I would take Jovic, says total hit. Afternoon, bud. If only Arsenal's team was like your Newcastle team. Bruv, it was mad. I lost the League Cup final to Man United. I was about to snap the control pad in half. 3 hours later, I won the Champions League. We beat Barcelona, Madrid and PSG en route. Did you see the MTV Cribs episode with Aubameyang? Aubameyang's banging house? No, I haven't seen it. I've seen that he was doing it, but I haven't seen the episode. No, mate. Would you swap Jovic for Lacazette, says Jack? I'll end on that one. Yes, I will. I will do that, buddy. Big up, Gary. Hope you're well. Listen, sorry I couldn't see any Facebook or Twitch comments. For some reason, StreamYard chats froze. So apologies for that. But I will be back in about 40 minutes, half hour, something like that, with a Premier League video. And then about 3 o'clock, I'll be playing career mode. So like I said, first game, we've got a Super Cup final against Atletico Madrid. So gaming channel link down below, Twitch link down below. Go and follow me on Twitch. And also use HOTMIC, download it, use my code, and that earns me a couple of quid. So make sure you do that right now. Come on, baby. Bluetooth, baby. I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.